Welcome to She Says with your host, Stephanie Regalado. She Says guests share stories from their challenges to successes and, most importantly, the journey of womanhood woven alongside the collaboration of sisterhood. From self, love, friends and family, to hot topics, career, and world views, Stephanie and her guests discuss matters with utmost openness and honesty. So let's hear what she says. Here's Stephanie.
Hello, welcome to She Says. I'm your host, Stephanie Regalado. Excited to have Carissa Ware with me from the City of Spokane. You are the recreation supervisor.
Yep, one of the five of us.
One of five?
Yes.
How many parks, again, does our city have under their
Holy
umbrella?
smokes. I can tell you from a field allocation standpoint, I scheduled 29, but that only includes the fields or the parks that have actual athletic facilities, so we have a lot more than that.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of little green spaces that are...
Yes. So we have all
park.
varying sizes and 3 huge sports complexes. We're a big parks department.
Yeah, that's incredible. So super exciting thing this year. I mean, everyone's happy to hear the rollout that the swimming pools will be free for children ages.
It's actually not even just children. So our park board approved free swimming for open swim at all 6 of our aquatic centers. So very fortunate, it includes adults as well.
Wow.
Yep, all ages. So during our open swim times.
How were they able to do that? That's a lot of
That is
moolah.
a lot. We have a park board who's really supportive of recreation in general, and really we want to get numbers into the pool. So it was a way that we're able to do that and allow access to our pools. They've tried a couple different things in the couple years past. We've had swim passes and things like that we've gotten money and grants for from the Parks Foundation. But this year it was really important to Park Board that the Spokane community has free access to swimming. I think with our summers getting a little bit hotter too, that probably helps. So we're very, very fortunate in the city to be able to provide that for our citizens.
Are there any potential downfalls to
capacity? Is going to probably be something that they'll look at. We're also switching to a new software system, so that'll be kind of interesting how that works. But the free swim is going to be called a splash pass. So it's absolutely free. You do have to set up an account, but it's basically so we can track numbers and demographic and see who's actually attending our pools. And the other positive is if we have some kiddos who are maybe not having a positive experience at the pool, we can kind of track that so that if they try to go to another one, we want to keep it a safe, fun environment for everybody who's attending. So,
yeah, I was thinking about that too, that you would like to know maybe who's in the pool at any given time.
I think it's
potentially
great for us to be able to track citizens, because we do get address. You don't have to be a citizen to attend to go, but we'll actually be able to have a really good gauge of who in the community is attending our free hours of swim and taking advantage of this opportunity. I think it also helps us target market to the demographics that we may not be hitting, so that we can get better access as we continue to go on with the program.
So people, I'm assuming, can go online to sign up for...
Yeah, we're working on that software change right now. I think they are doing paper ones right now, but the goal is to have some kind of pop-up events before all of the pools open where people can go and register.
Excellent.
So that we avoid really big lines once the pool's open, because currently only Witter is open right now.
Oh, but it's open.
Yeah, so it opened on the 7th, so it's open from open swim and lap swimming and all that good stuff.
Holy camolies. So when I was a nanny about 100 years ago, I was reminiscing today, the family lived right on Cannon Hill Park, and there were two fully staffed, 4 or 5 days a week, park rec people.
Programs, wow, yeah.
The program, and they had it at several other parks as well. And then they would deliver lunch to the park. So this is kind of reminds me of that a little bit, a step in that direction. Your new program is a mobile recreation
It is,
van.
yeah. It's going to be really similar to that. So we are starting June 18th, the week that school gets out, actually, for School District 81. And basically what you just talked about, 4 days a week, we're going to be going out to different parks. We have a schedule online right now. And from 11 to 2:30, we'll be providing free recreational opportunities to that park. Cannon Hill is actually one of them. We strategically picked parks that we hit all of the council districts. As well as a target focus on low socioeconomic areas, so that those kids are getting out and recreating. The food component piece that we have right now is a lot of the parks that we picked are also on the School District 81 food program during the summertime. So kiddos in those areas will be able to come out, get to play and then also get some food in their bellies as well.
Now, is that something that parents have to sign up their
not.
kiddos for? They can just drop in anytime?
It is drop in, yeah. We are doing... parents can just drop in and kids can walk to the park. That's kind of what we designed it for, so that neighborhood kiddos can actually just have access to their local neighborhood parks. No registration or heads up notice. We will have it staffed, so we'll have 2 park staff that actually go out. And then the other really cool thing is we've partnered with Next Generation Zone to have workers from that organization come. And a lot of the kiddos that they get are doing training, job training, and things like that to help build up their resumes for jobs. And often these guys are also coming from those neighborhood parks. So the goal is to get those guys to be able to give back to their communities as well as gain really great job skills and working with youth. So it's kind of a win-win for both organizations. We're fortunate to have them, and they're going to get a little bit of job experience with us.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Are there still opportunities?
Yep, always looking for anybody who wants to volunteer for mobile rec. We've got a couple college students right now, some Gonzaga students who are going to help kind of run the main show. But definitely volunteers, anybody who is looking, contact me. I'd love to have some more people out. I
love that. So is this one van?
Yes.
That goes to how many different parks?
So each day it'll be, we're on a 4-day rotation, so we'll go Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
Mondays is the only consistent day from week to week. We'll be at Dutch Jake Park. We were actually given some money from Trust Republic Lands to redevelop that park, so anybody in that neighborhood.
Where is that park?
It's actually like a block or 2 away from Kendall Yards, right in the West Central area.
Okay.
It's kind of close to Am Cannon. It's a much smaller neighborhood park, but they're doing a bunch of redevelopment right there right now.
Okay, yeah.
And we're trying to get really good positive activity happening in that park for that neighborhood. So that'll be a consistent one. That'll be every Monday from 11:30 to 2:30. Other than that, we rotate. And then we have one evening program that'll be Wednesday nights when we're there, and that's the only other different thing. It's from 5 to 7. That evening program will be more family geared.
Oh, I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
that's so cool.
that one's in Coeur d'Alene Park, which will be super awesome too.
Perfect.
Very cool.
Does it coordinate with when they have their concerts?
Yeah, so we're on, it won't be the same times that they have concerts because we're really aware of that, but like, those ones are popular. So
right.
Another awesome positive activity. That park is really big too and has basketball and all that stuff. So excited to be out in Coeur d'Alene Park as well.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm excited. My kids are all a little too old for these programs now.
They can volunteer though and help out.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
what is the age range for a volunteer?
We can take youth. They just have to sign volunteer paperwork, and then if they're under 18, we have a parent sign a waiver.
Oh, okay.
But we get high school students who want to do community service for college applications and all that stuff. We'll definitely take help. We also have a youth sports camp that we run. That isn't a free program, but we take students for that too that are interested in helping.
So did the Parks Board also allocate funds for this mobile van?
So we don't currently have funds right now. We're kind of using some excess that we had in other ways. But we were really blessed. We got a sponsorship from Skyhawks, who is a contractual partner with us, that gave us $1,000 of free equipment to use. We are using a Leave to Die van right now, which is an old fleet vehicle that we have from another program. So it's a little beat up, but it's going to do the job, and hopefully we'll be able to show numbers and get some more sponsorships next year to upgrade the program.
And are you still open to sponsorships this year?
Absolutely,
right?
Yep, absolutely.
When are you not open to taking money?
Right.
So how do people contact and businesses contact? They can make contact with the program to support it if they want to financially.
You can contact me directly via my email, just cware@spokanecity.org.
Okay.
Or give me a call.
All right. And then we can put this on the webs after the program.
I'd be more than happy to field those phone calls.
Excellent. I love that. You also, we were talking before as well about the Police Athletics League.
Yeah.
Called PAL?
Yes. So the City of Spokane, the police department, has a league called PAL, and basically they go out to similar neighborhoods and parks and provide recreational services too, but their main goal is to really get the police department out in these neighborhoods and kind of cross that barrier where people in that community might be shy or not willing to talk to the police. So to really just have a presence and be friendly and get that interaction, and they do a lot of great stuff. So their program isn't quite as long as ours, so we kind of do it with them so that we are in the beginning of their program and then towards the end. So we basically extend what they have so that they can offer services longer. and then just are working together. So another great opportunity for kiddos.
And what does that program look like? Are they in their
Yes, so
suits and they're suited up? And
they do have police officers that come suited up. Jennifer DeRue is the one who runs that and has done a fantastic job. She's actually been a really great resource for me for starting our pilot program with mobile recreation. So
yeah, and they just play games and
yep, they have
sports?
some. I think they have a little bit more structure than ours. We have themed weeks and kind of loose structured games, but as most people who work with kids know, sometimes those don't go, so you have to be able to adapt and figure out what that
flexibility, adaptability,
yeah.
Gotta roll with it. I think that's really cool about the Police Athletics League. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah.
And some of the videos that you see that go viral online are police officers stopping to play a game of basketball with kids or interacting. And I think that's definitely a brilliant way to bridge that relationship and those gaps.
Yeah, our PAL League is pretty cool. They do a good job, and Jennifer is really dedicated, and so it's nice to see it grow.
I'll have to have her on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure she'd do. I'm sure she'll thank me.
Right. So, how long have you been with the city and worked as a supervisor, or not even? Yeah. A supervisor, but just in recreation.
So I've been fortunate enough. October will be 5 years for me.
Okay.
I worked as a temp seasonal for about 1.5 years before a permanent position became open. From there, I got that as a recreation assistant, and then I just got promoted to a supervisor and having my own programs last October.
Oh, congratulations!
So about a year, a little over a year, but yeah.
Good for you. Are you born and raised here? Or are you?
I am not.
Oh,
I am
tell
from
us.
Western Washington.
Okay.
I grew up in Graham, if anybody knows where that is. It's right outside of Puyallup, where the big fair is. So that's usually how I describe that.
Yeah.
But it's grown up over there. So I came over for college, is what originally brought me to Spokane.
And then you stayed in Spokane.
I did, yeah. So I did my undergrad work at Gonzaga and then left to go get my master's degree and loved Spokane so much, came back to live and start a career.
That is fabulous. And you have 2 little kiddos.
I do, yes. An almost 2-year-old, and then my son will be 4 in October. So I'm busy bee.
Yeah. How are, okay, I'm getting the cutoff sign. So we're going to take a quick break.
Perfect.
And then we'll come back. We will be back in just 1 minute.
Welcome to Tom Sawyer Country Coffee.
Tom Sawyer Country Coffee only roasts the finest organic coffee for our signature blends. Enjoy a cup at our coffee shop and local businesses and organizations across the region.
I'm Tom Sawyer, and we choose the Pacific Northwest.
Last year alone, Avista customers saved over 53 million kilowatt hours of energy. Enough to power more than 4,000 homes for an entire year. Way to save, everyone. Way to save. Find your way to save at avistautilities.com.
What? You haven't been to the library lately? Stop in today and see that the library is more than books. Spokane County Library District facilities feature on-site technology, including Wi-Fi, computers, and printers, as well as free use of meeting rooms. The Library District offers events and programs for all ages, from story times to career development and employer classes to Social Security workshops. Our staff is well trained and happy to help. Find out more about your library at scld.org.
Yes, that's how you do families these days.
That's right. Blended.
Exactly. We are here at She Says. I have Carissa Ware from the City of Spokane, the recreation supervisor, one of 5 recreation supervisors, planning big things for our kids in the communities this summer across how many different parks?
We are going to hit 7 parks this summer. 7 parks. But as a whole, we have more than 30. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Lots of recreational activities to happen in our parks.
I know, that's the beauty of one of the many beautiful aspects of our community, of those parks, right in the heart of neighborhoods. And
we are very fortunate. We have some very nice, well-maintained, beautiful parks in the city of Spokane.
Yeah, I've always appreciated the investment that our city has put into.
As far as I know, in my limited time with the Parks Department, they've passed every bond that we've ever asked the community for, and now we're going through a huge renovation at Riverfront Park.
Yes,
and so,
right, and the Loop Carousel.
It does. It opens this weekend on the 12th.
That's going to be, I can only imagine that as being pure mayhem.
I'm sure it is.
Park is going to be.
The construction down there has been crazy, but I don't know if you've driven by that new building. Looks phenomenal.
It's so
really
cool. Well, and there's maybe you can talk about this, maybe you can't. How have they handled some criticisms on different design aspects?
You know, I'm in recreation, so I don't deal a lot with the park side, so can't speak a lot to that. But I know that going into it, I started working with the Parks Department before the bond got approved and everything, and they went out to a lot of community stuff and really wanted to get engagement and wanted to give the community what they wanted. So I was hopeful that they were able to do that. I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't get to hear much about the criticism side, but I know as a recreation professional, I'm super excited about the changes that are happening in that and what that means for our community and the new events and what we're going to be able to host and do.
Right. Well, and that sometimes people are stepping into it at a space where and commenting when the conversation happened years ago.
Right. Yeah.
To get them on. I know the newest thing I was seeing, the uproar on Facebook, was the fortune cookie looking art installation that's going in.
Yeah. I don't know. I know we have a really cool artist that's doing some of that stuff, but I'm not. I unfortunately don't get to see a lot of the decisions on where stuff's going. But I do know that from pictures and stuff that I've seen, that park is just going to be super, super cool.
Well, and it really does put Spokane on the map in a different way than it had been before. I mean, Riverfront Park has always been a glorious space, but it's really, I mean, so many cities are known for. Who has the big bean?
Oh.
Is that,
I'm not sure.
Of course we know who has the big bean. The big shiny bean.
Dang it, I know what you're
But could you imagine when that bean was first going in? There were probably people
thinking,
like, why are we putting a big shiny bean in the middle of this
park?
in this place? But it is such a tourist attraction.
Yeah,
really. And it's like a must-see place. But you know that fortune cookie.
Yes,
it's going to be something people have to go and check out.
That's a perfect selfie opportunity for people, right?
We are all about the selfies.
That's right, yeah.
Well, and the way that you can, there are stairs that you can walk up inside of it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the other cool thing I like when they were creating or choosing what they did, they give people different perspectives and how to take in those natural spaces.
Right.
So maybe from the sidewalk you're having one experience, but the whole idea isn't just the experience from the sidewalk. It's to go in and interact and get up in it and see a different view of the park than you've ever seen before.
Well, and that's what we want. We want people engaging in our parks and enjoying the great natural spaces that we have and have to offer.
Mm-hmm. So. Do you guys have any programs or motivation due to the just overall health of societies and the epidemic of obesity and children? Do you have those conversations?
That's definitely part of where Mobile Rec came from, to offer that for those areas. And then also the big one is getting people unplugged, getting kids to get off of phones and electronic devices and really start having natural, organic conversations again. And so I think by being in the parks and having kids have walkability to those, being able to interact with your neighborhood kids. I mean, when I was growing up, we rode bikes and I knew all the kids on my street. I don't think that's as common these days.
Right.
So hopefully those kinds of relationships will be built, and that's the socialization and all that good stuff.
Well, absolutely, because the more you are plugged in and the more that's your sense of community,
yes,
the more you have a vested interest in the whole of it versus just your own experience. And then there's a ton of research on nature and how brilliant that is for humans and minds of all ages.
Right.
So I'm sure you guys have looked through all of that.
Yeah, we do take that in. And just, I mean, we're in recreation, so we enjoy doing it and trying to pass it down. But all the benefits of just being out, and we know what physical activity does for learning and the brain and healthy eating and all that kind of stuff, and being out in nature and experiencing those things. I have little kiddos right now, so it's always fun for me to get them out and see how they interact with nature and learning those new things, and even if it's just texture or sounds and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty awesome. We're really fortunate in our area, like I said, to have that and have so much water and be around so much beautiful, accessible nature, especially with having the river, going through our city.
Right. Well, one of my favorite parts of my life right now is having a 2.5-year-old grandbaby and just seeing the wonder of everything through her eyes, that pure, magnificent, vulnerable wonder about, we caught just some little flying creature the other day and we kept it in a jar for a little while. And that was, we marveled at that. And I love bringing, because it really does feel like you bring you back to your center and your just the roots of humanity and just the collective nature of
So
all
innocent,
living things.
too.
It is.
Yeah.
And the other thing that cracks me up is she just loves to run.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's really not natural for humans to sit around
Right, and be sedentary.
and be sedentary. It's like there's been a takeover of minds when the screens have.
Yes.
It's almost like with cigarettes when they were putting that chemical in that made people addicted to them.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's some like Ka from the Jungle Book or something like wooing us in. Because truly, when you watch, watch the youngest kiddos. They are unleashed, and it's so hard to get them to sit in one spot.
When I think about just the difference in my kiddos and how kids are exposed, my son got a lot more TV early on, and like, he will sit and watch TV where my daughter hasn't, and she like wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And just how different they're. Like, she loves to get dirty in water and all kinds of stuff, and my son's like, no, I don't want to be dirty. So each kiddo is totally different and unique, but it is interesting to see just how intrigued they are by all the different things that they come into contact with.
Right. Well, I don't know why I just saw this, but like, I believe the Teletubbies show was started, and shows like that were started to try to get kids that lived in like inner cities where there wasn't a lot of green spaces for them, to get them up and moving around, because that is just so important for growth, development on a musculoskeletal level as well as emotional and mental.
I think that's one of the reasons why recess is so important in schools. It gives kids that break mentally where you can just, kind of disengage and have fun and be active and burn off some energy too, which probably helps teachers. It's Teacher Appreciation Week this week.
Right. So. Oh yeah. We love you, teachers.
Yes,
one thing I've never understood, and I know a lot of schools are moving away from this, but using the removal of the freedom of recess as a disciplinary action.
Yeah, I've heard
like
things about that, but man, I'm like, no, put my kid outside.
He'll
behave probably way better for you if he's burned off some energy.
You don't make him sit. You go make them run around 10 times or something.
Yeah.
And then I think they create this environment when then there's this they perpetuate that bad behavior, because you have a kid who sat there and is all wound up, doesn't know how to process their own emotions or filters.
And from a recreational professional, I wouldn't want that to be a disciplinary action, because then that would associate negativity with being, that's taking away something physical, and that's, a negative interaction there. So.
Yeah. How do you guys handle discipline?
In our programs?
Yes.
So a lot of the times it's just trying to talk it through with the kiddo. Mm-hmm. We're pretty fortunate we haven't had anything extreme, but we definitely have to get the parents involved. I mean, that helps. You parents know their kiddos the best and what works and what doesn't work and how to get engaged. But sometimes it does work out. In my youth, before I got my job, I used to work for Soccer Tots, which is Super Tots now. And so we had to deal with that. And man, one of the things that works is you play that kid's favorite game and they have to watch that, and that puts them right back in pretty quick. But most of the time, we're pretty fortunate. Kids want to be active and want to participate, and so usually just saying, "Hey, we might not, we might have to take a break, or we might have to do this." It usually turns them around pretty quickly. Yeah,
and you can do it with so much kindness and just matter of factly, like this isn't going to work in this environment.
We need to be kind to our friends.
And exactly. Well, and also having a really tender heart toward them, understanding that there's something internal going on, or something that could be coming from an external source or something that is creating them in that moment and their responses. But I used to always joke when my son, who's now 17 and about to graduate, when he was younger, I was like, get the demons out. Like, we need to get outside and run him around and be active. And he's a 3-sport athlete, and he's done so many different things. And it was the joke is it was to get the demons out. It's like, keep him moving, wear him out. It's kind of like having a puppy.
That's absolutely, and part of it's just keeping you sane, right? There's times where I'm like, all right, we're going to the park. You gotta go down the slide. You gotta do something.
Right. No kidding. Well, I love it when you put kids in a fun environment too, and they realize the value of that. They're going to be more inclined to kind of toe the line.
Definitely want kids to participate and be lifelong participants of recreation, whatever that means. I mean, there's so many different avenues of what recreation is, and I think a lot of people don't realize, there's also passive recreation activities. Art and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask for a clarification on that, because you call them active or passive?
Yeah, so we offer active and passive. So active would be, where you're physically moving, and passive activities are things like, coloring or doing things like that. So at Mobile Rec, we will have both. Some kiddos are shy and they might not want to jump in and participate right away, and that's okay. And we're not going to send you away or shun you. We want you to come and play with us and interact with, the individuals in your community. So we'll have some board games, some coloring type activities. And those are also a good way of transitioning if we do have some behavioral problems. Hey, let's take a time out and let's do this for a couple minutes and cool down before we re-engage with the group. So recreation doesn't have to just be physical. If you ever look through our recreation guide, we have a ton of different opportunities. There's photography, there's all kinds of art and cooking and all kinds of things. So not just sports related or kayaking and any of that. We offer a bunch. So
yeah, I've always been impressed with that recreation catalog.
We have a big
it's like
guide.
A dream book for getting out and moving. Oh, how do you handle, and have you ever been faced with this where a child has shared something personal that was something that concerned you, and then how do you act from there? Maybe a family thing or...
Yeah, so we definitely have protocols in place, especially for our camp staff, because usually they're younger, college age students, high school age students that deal with that. So chain of command, if there's something that they ever question, to bring that to their leader's attention, and then it comes up the chain. And if it's something we really think needs to be addressed, we get the proper authorities involved and call. It's always better to check something out than leave it. So.
Yeah, I was going to, when you hear something like that, are there instances where you don't check in with the parents first about it? You go to authority who would
it all depends on what it is, really. And sometimes kids say stuff. I mean, there's times my 4-year-old's like, Mom's being mean. He could make up a story. You never know.
Oh, yeah.
There has to be some good signs of neglect to get stuff involved. Yeah. But we definitely err on the side of caution. Kids are our future, and we want to make sure that we protect them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it sends that message too, and I hope that parents understand if there is a moment like that didn't end up being the reality,
right,
that they could be grateful that there are extra eyes and ears looking out for not just their kiddos, but the benefit of all children.
Yeah. Safe spaces, and we want our kids to have safe opportunities and enjoy that. And, it's all for the kiddos.
Yeah, we had, when my kids were younger, the neighborhood that we lived in, there were kids that would come over often. I worked from home, but it was very flexible, so I was present when they were younger. And one thing that makes me, that there would be kids that could be at my house for 6 hours, and I never even met their parent.
Oh, yeah.
So that surprised me. But I just loved providing that space for them, that safe place, and we always had snacks and...
You were the go-to house, though.
I was the go-to house. Some of the kids actually would climb over the back fence, and I'd encourage them to probably not do that. It was terrifying, but they were the true essence of Rugrats.
Yeah,
they're like, no, we're getting to where the fun is, no matter what it takes. But I always said that it was such an honor to be in that space with kids.
Yeah.
Because they are inherently good.
Yes.
And of course, everyone has that inherent worth and equality, but no matter what their background is, no matter who their parents are, it's such an honor to be able to be there. And you just can hear, I always said the kids don't need discipline, they just need little tweaks here and there.
Yeah.
As they're trying to figure it out, and you'll hear something, and if they have an adult within earshot or someone who's older that can say, oh, hey, let's talk about this, or that's probably not appropriate, or how do you think that might make someone feel? And they just need that. Some of the neighbors had commented early on about the terrorists that I had. I'm like, well, they aren't terrorizing anything when they're playing in my yard happily, are they?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no, we just didn't understand how you could have them all over there before they terrorize the neighborhood. Like, kids just want interaction.
And I think that's one of the cool parts of having, younger adults working with the kids. Because, like a high school kid to an elementary kid is like a superstar.
No kidding.
And they just amazed. And so when you have positive role models, it's a great thing for everybody. It's great for the people that are being the role models and learning that interaction, and for the kids too. And I think sometimes we don't think about just how much of an impact we do have on youth. And we get to choose whether that's positive or negative.
Absolutely.
And so being able to provide those positive opportunities for those kiddos is pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I definitely encourage anyone watching to get involved this summer to make a difference in someone's life. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me and allowing me to come and talk about this awesome opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you for the work that you do for our community and our kids, and for truly having a heart.
I am very privileged to get to do what I get to do every day. So.
Yeah. It makes me tear up a little bit, because it really, kids are where my heart is too. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into She Says. You can check out the website,
SpokaneParks.org.
SpokaneParks.org. I'll have your email on this podcast afterwards, so people can.
Yes, please contact me.
Yeah, just inundate this woman
Yes.
with requests.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, of ways that you can help, or even the donations. I know the foundation was accepting donations for swimwear and
they're actually
gonna.
They've given some money. They're gonna do some free swim clinics this year. So check that out too. Lots of information on our website about all of that. And my coworker and I are actually going out and doing neighborhood community meetings to talk about both of our programs. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Carissa.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
See you next week.
She Says is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content.